A weapon is only as deadly as the person wielding it. We've seen baseball bats wrapped in barbed wire, crossbows that never miss their target, and revolvers that could take down entire herds. But there's one weapon that changed everything. A weapon that turned a mysterious hooded figure into a legend. In a world where guns blazing usually means death coming your way, Michonne's katana whispered a different story. A story of silent death, graceful survival, and unmatched precision. When those chains rattled and two armless walkers emerged from the mist, followed by a hooded figure wielding a sword, that wasn't just another survivor entrance. That was the moment The Walking Dead changed forever. No ammo needed, no reload time, no noise to attract walkers, just pure steel and skill. But this isn't just about a sharp piece of metal. This is about how one weapon redefined what it means to survive in the apocalypse. From clearing entire hordes without a sound to becoming the symbol of leadership and strength, this katana has spilled enough blood to fill the Georgia rivers. And today, we're going to see exactly how this ancient Japanese blade revolutionized a modern apocalyptic world. But first, let me show you the exact moment when everyone realized this wasn't just any sword. This was death incarnate, and its name was Michonne's katana. Before she became a warrior queen, before she led armies, Michonne was a lawyer living in Atlanta. Who could have guessed that trading legal documents for a Japanese sword would make her one of the most feared survivors in the apocalypse? But the katana isn't just a weapon for Michonne, it's an extension of her soul. A reminder of who she was, who she lost, and who she had to become. Remember those two walkers she kept chained? Her boyfriend Mike and his best friend? That was the moment she realized. Sometimes the most painful bonds become our strongest weapons. She turned her tragedy into strategy, her pain into power. Every swing of that blade carries the weight of her past. From the loss of her son to the countless battles she's fought, each slice through walker flesh is driven by a mother's fury, a survivor's instinct, and a leader's determination. The way she moves with the katana isn't just training, it's poetry written in blood. While others panicked, fired their guns, or swung baseball bats wildly, Michonne turned walker killing into an art form, each strike calculated, each movement purposeful. They say the sword chooses its master. Well, in a world of guns and chaos, this ancient blade chose a modern warrior. And together, they didn't just survive, they rewrote the rules of survival. Some called her the silent killer, others the shadow warrior. But everyone knew, when you saw that blade gleaming in the sunlight, you were either in the presence of salvation or your worst nightmare. Let's talk about the moments that made even hardened survivors' jaws drop. The kills that turned Michonne's katana into a legend. Remember the governor? Our katana-wielding warrior put that blade right through his chest. But that wasn't just another kill. That was justice served cold and sharp. The sound of steel meeting flesh echoed the screams of everyone who suffered at Woodbury. Then there's that prison battle. 1 walker, 2 walkers, 10 walkers. Who's counting when you're all watching a dance of death? The way she cleared that courtyard alone had Rick's group staring in disbelief. That's when they learned you don't need bullets when you have precision. The Sanctuary Showdown? Pure art. While Negan was busy monologuing about Lucille, Michonne was proving that a silent blade speaks louder than words. 20 walkers down in under a minute. No bullets wasted, no attention drawn, just pure lethal efficiency. But the most brutal display? That would be the carousel of death at the fair. 4 walkers charging, 1 fluid motion, and suddenly heads were rolling. That wasn't just survival, that was mastery. Each kill tells a story. Each swing writes history. From Alexandria to the Kingdom, every community has witnessed what happens when Michonne unsheathes that blade. And trust me, those stories keep even the walkers up at night. The katana that once kept everyone at blade's length became the sword that would protect entire communities. Funny how things change, isn't it? When Michonne first appeared, she trusted her blade more than people. And who could blame her? In a world where the dead walk and the living betray, at least her katana never lied. But watch how the story shifts. At the prison, she was the mysterious warrior. In Alexandria, she became their guardian. By the time she reached the Commonwealth, she was more than just a fighter. She was a symbol of hope, with that katana representing not just death, but protection. The same blade that once kept her isolated became the tool that brought communities together. From teaching Judith the way of the sword to leading armies against the Whisperers, Michonne's katana became more than a weapon. It became a banner under which others rallied. Look at how Carl went from fearing her to wanting to be like her. How Judith inherited not just training with the sword, but the strength and wisdom behind each swing. That's not just character development, that's legacy in motion. Even Rick Grimes, the man who once aimed a gun at her head, came to understand. Sometimes the longest journeys start with a single swing of a sword, and sometimes the most feared weapon becomes the greatest symbol of protection. They say practice makes perfect. But what happens when you practice the art of survival every single day for years? You create something entirely new. At first, Michonne's technique was pure survival, raw, instinctive, fueled by rage and necessity. Each swing was about staying alive for one more day, but watch closely how that changed. The prison era showed us the first glimpse of real technique. The way she started incorporating circular movements, using the walker's own momentum against them. That wasn't just fighting anymore, that was strategy. By Alexandria, her style had become something else entirely. The backhand slices, the rapid transitions between targets, the way she could clear a path through a herd without breaking stride. She wasn't just killing walkers anymore. She was conducting a symphony of steel. And those signature moves, the diagonal slash that could take down 3 walkers in one swing, the quick draw that could separate a head from shoulders faster than you could blink, the famous spin move that became her trademark, each one developed through blood, sweat, and countless encounters. Even the way she carries the katana evolved, from an awkward backpack strap to that smooth, quick draw position we all know. Every adjustment, every refinement paid for in walker blood and hard-learned lessons. In a world obsessed with bullets and gunpowder, Michonne's katana rewrote the rules of survival. And let me tell you why that's a game changer. Think about it. Every gunshot is a dinner bell for walkers. Every bullet spent is one you'll need to scavenge later. But a katana? It's the gift that keeps on giving. No ammo runs needed, no reload time, just pure, endless efficiency. The numbers don't lie. While others were counting bullets, Michonne was counting kills. 1 swing, 1 kill. No jams, no misfires. No, sorry, I'm out of ammo moments. In a world where reliability means survival, the katana became the ultimate insurance policy. But here's where it gets interesting. The katana changed group tactics too. When you've got someone who can clear a path silently, suddenly your whole approach to walker herds changes. No more avoiding large groups. No more waiting for them to pass. Just swift, silent elimination. In stealth missions, while everyone else was figuring out how to quietly take down walkers with knives, Michonne was already 3 steps ahead, having mastered the art of silent but large-scale elimination. The katana turned what used to be impossible missions into Tuesday afternoon walks. The best part? When everything else fails, when the guns jam, when the arrows run out, when the batteries die, that blade keeps on cutting. In a world where everything has an expiration date, Michonne found the one tool that never expires. Every fan has that one Michonne moment that made them jump out of their seat. Let's count down the kills that had everyone hitting the rewind button. Number 5, the walker wall. Remember when she sliced through an entire line of walkers like they were made of paper? That scene wasn't just brutal, it was beautiful. 6 walkers, 1 swing, 0 hesitation. Pure katana poetry. Number 4, the governor's eye. Before Philip met Michonne's blade, he had 2 eyes. After? Well, let's just say depth perception became a real challenge. That wasn't just a wound, it was karma with a sharp edge. Number 3, the chain reaction. Her first appearance, 2 armless walkers on chains, and suddenly, slash. A perfect demonstration of how to turn your past trauma into a survival tactic. Talk about making an entrance. Number 2, the whispers go silent. That moment when she ended Beta's right-hand walker with such precision that even Alpha had to take notice. No words needed, just cold, sharp steel doing the talking. And the number 1 fan favorite, the prison yard symphony. 3 dozen walkers, 1 woman, 1 katana. The way she moved through that yard wasn't just fighting, it was choreography. Every swing had purpose, every step had meaning. That wasn't just survival, that was art. Every great story leaves a legacy. But how many can say that legacy is sharp enough to cut through generations? Look at Judith Grimes, wielding a mini katana of her own. That's not just a weapon being passed down, it's a philosophy. A way of life. The little ass kicker became a little samurai, and suddenly we realized Michonne's influence would outlive even her. From Atlanta to Alexandria, from the Commonwealth to the next frontier, that katana became more than just Michonne's weapon. It became a symbol of hope. When communities saw that blade, they didn't just see steel and sharp edges. They saw protection, they saw strength, they saw survival. The katana rewrote the apocalypse playbook. While others were building walls, Michonne showed that sometimes the best defense is a perfectly timed offense. While others were hoarding bullets, she proved that true power never runs out of ammo. But perhaps the greatest legacy? It's in the stories they tell. In every community, there are whispers about the woman with the sword. Parents tell their children, be brave like Michonne. Survivors ask themselves, what would Michonne do? That's not just survival, that's immortality. In a world where everything dies, Michonne's katana became something eternal. Because legends never die. They just get sharper with every retelling.